Hello and welcome to today's video diary for finding my way with Pi, purpose, intention, and emotion. I am Pi. Today I'm thinking about how people come into our lives, when people come into our lives, how things unfold, how sometimes we get this deep knowing inside of our bodies. It could be in our gut or in our heart space. That either, paying attention that my path has crossed paths with this person for a reason. Sometimes we get that deep feeling when we feel like, oh, something has happened with someone we love. How just our interconnectedness with others is really something that I think in today's world in Western society is we don't put as much meaning on it, spiritual meaning on it, as we should. There's this definitely surfacey, it's all about networking, and it always, in my experience as having grown up in the corporate world, was like this networking to figure out who I can connect with. So like, how could I get ahead? It always had that underlying kind of like flavor to it, which is why I didn't necessarily go to those professionally organized type networking events, because it felt surfacey. And I really love the deeper connections that I feel with people when we're having meaningful conversations about, sharing. They share their story. I can learn about their lives and their experiences and what they're passionate about. And that, I feel, is how true connection and networking happens. And I'm just sharing my own experience. This is just my personal truth and my experience, not necessarily others. Lots of people thrive with the professionally organized networking, and I do think it's important. It's just the intention behind it is something that I'm noticing I'm particularly sensitive to. Now, all of that said, I think it's important to pay attention to ourselves individually when we cross paths with people, whether it's, we meet them once and learn something from them, or they end up, happening to be a part of our lives for however long, for whatever reason, in whatever capacity. And what I mean by listening to yourself is just being present in the moment and being aware and open to learning what you can learn. I had a friend introduce me to someone who she knows, and this lady, she's in her 70s. Her life story is amazing, and right now she is doing work in this world for what she's passionate about. And the connection with this person, really, it was just my friend who said, you've got to meet with this other lady. You two remind me of each other, and I think it would be great if you connected. And what was interesting was that, there's probably 35 years separating us in age, but when I met with this wonderful lady today and learned her life story, there were so many parallels in interesting ways to my own. And as I'm sitting there talking with her in this coffee shop, I look up and I look around, and there is a picture of an owl, a photo of an owl. I have an owl just over my shoulder right here on my wall behind me. An owl was my dad's totem. And my dad passed away when I was 15 years old. And I have a complicated, complex relationship with my dad when he was alive. He was both one of the most charismatic people I met and damaged and abusive and hurtful. Complicated. And I have a better relationship with him after he passed away than I did with him, I feel like, when he was alive. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, once I was able to forgive the hurts and such that happened, I started seeing owls everywhere. And I was not open to even, let me back up. Why is an owl significant for my dad? Well, an owl was his animal totem. He was a quarter Cherokee Indian, and he believed that an owl was his animal totem. He also shared with me what my animal totem is. It's a woodpecker. But when I see owls now, I do feel like there's like he's with me, and certainly because I was able to forgive, and through that forgiveness and the way that I feel like he's with me now is clean. It's the best way I know how to say it. It's without the hurt and the complications of what his earthly life held. Those have fallen away. And he shows up in moments like owls, representing truth, wisdom, and understanding. In moments where it's like, pay attention to what's happening and the information, like the story that this neat lady was sharing with me, her life story today. Pay attention. There's something meaningful here. There's truth, wisdom, and understanding here, and it's meaningful for you in your own life. Kind of like my Mimi, who has passed away, hummingbirds show up in the neatest places, and in that regard, the hummingbird represented almost like hummingbirds are bearers of dreams. Hummingbirds show up in that moment where it's like, pay attention, because this is a way and a connection to lead to where I'm meant to be. I always believed in connecting with the signs that life shows you, because I think that we are more than just physical beings. I think we are also spiritual beings, and the way Wayne Dyer describes that actually is that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. For a long time, I had shut down that receptive part of me, that spiritual part of me, not looked at life signs, chose to turn away from it, to not believe in it. And I think a part of that was really just a response to trauma and almost a survival mechanism. And looking backwards, now that, I had left my corporate job, I've been gone from there for just over 7 months, and gone through this journey of healing, and I'm reopening back up to those, the spiritual side of being human, and now starting to feel and see and notice and recognize, be aware of, be here now, and see that it is all around me and within me. And I got that feeling today when I was meeting with this lovely lady. She's in her 70s. She's had an incredible life. And the work that she's doing now and what she's sharing along the way, about her path along the way and the lessons learned. And some of the themes of our conversation and what she shared with me today was, even all the hard stuff, looking back, was perfect, because I wouldn't be here, and she's sharing this about her own life, wouldn't be right where I am now. She worked hard. She put a lot of effort in and connected with lots of people in her life, and always in ways where she wanted to contribute. So it was like this, what can I contribute, and worked hard at contributing. She talked about the importance of failure. She talked about the importance of, you will try some things and they won't work out, and you're going to learn a lot along the way. And that is part of it. She talked about the importance of listening to that spiritual side of yourself, listening to the pull within you as it relates to which way you should go, the opportunities that simply just present themselves, and and instead of thinking your way through them, follow what feels right, and also see where it goes. And life has a way of working out in the most interesting ways. You don't ever know where you're going to end up. And sometimes when you follow the breadcrumbs, in the moment you have no idea, and it feels like toil, and it feels like effort, and it feels like, what the heck is happening? And then 10, 20 years later, you look back and it's like, wow, all of that unfolded exactly like it needed to. It's about knowing who you are. It's about being okay with learning and failure. It's about doing what speaks to you and finding ways to contribute and seeing where in the world you can offer your skills and talents to help, to contribute. It doesn't matter where it is. It could be in a job. It could be with an organization that you're interested in their mission. It could be personally, where you volunteer your time. It could be how you spend your hobby. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter so long as you're contributing. And we met for about an hour and 15 minutes, and we were 50 minutes into this conversation before I looked up and saw the picture of the owl, because I was starting to feel like I'm blown away by this person. She is, through her story, which had some parallels to mine, some Native American roots, some deep connections with family members, some hardships, some listening to her inner self, all of these types of things. And anyways, as she's talking and she's sharing about her experience now, and she said, who would have thought? I'm in my 70s. I'm learning new stuff every day. I'm still following what feels right. I'm still contributing. And she has built a business around a lot of these things. It gave me hope. It gave me this feeling of like, what are the chances? If I'd never met with my friend, who we meet up maybe every couple of years for lunch, and she just said, you've got to meet this other person, and connected us, and then we followed that and met each other. Like, what are the chances that we would have met each other? It's just really interesting. Now, I'm not saying anything huge will come of it, but even just in this moment, listening to and seeing, being present in and aware of the experience and the information she shared, and what I learned about her, learning about another human being, seeing the interconnectedness and the similarities, and the just the encouragement of an example of a life well lived. You don't know the roadmap while you're in it. You can only look backwards to see it. Steve Jobs says you can only look backwards to connect the dots. And she described something similar. And I said, it's interesting hearing you share your story now. It seems like every step of the way, just the way appeared, and it was like, meant to be an effortless. I said, did it feel like that when you were going through it? And she said, no, absolutely not. It never feels like that. But that's how life is. It never feels like, this is easy or any of those things. It's just you do and contribute from where you are with what you have at that time. You continue to learn and grow, and you love, and you be kind, and it worked out. Truth, wisdom, and understanding. And what a neat connection. And I do want to stay connected with this person, because I think this is, I guess, just an opportunity to learn more about others and see if there's other places where I can contribute. So, I don't know. Last thing, along the theme of observing thoughts and feelings each day. So this Finding My Way with Pi was a year-long experiment, and we are coming towards the end of the year. I'm feeling that this is beginning to transition, and I'm trying to consciously determine, what do I want to transition this from? Because this year-long experience and experiment has exceeded what I think I ever thought it might be. I had no idea what it would be, but it's been incredible for me, a journey in self-discovery, finding my voice, finding my calling, reconnecting with myself. And so it's been like, what do I want to do with it? And I've been kind of meditating on this the last couple of weeks, and really what's coming to me is let it happen naturally. For example, today's a Monday, and then the last 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, it was just take the weekend off. I just had this urge, take the weekend off of Finding My Way with Pi and just be present with hubby, be present with family, be present when you're visiting with friends, and also let your body heal, because I've had a cold the last week. So I did, and it feels right, and it felt right. I don't need to worry about, expectations or pressure or put anything on myself, just let it unfold. So now I'm like, we'll be taking the holidays off because that feels right. It's November and we're getting into Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays and time with family and friends, and we have travel and we have all kinds of stuff coming up. Let it unfold is where I'm at, and take the time off when it's right and let it happen naturally. Let it come to a close naturally. I don't have to plan this big, what's it going to be? What's the closure? What's the wrap up to this year-long personal, self-development experience? Why am I even putting that pressure on myself? That's what I realized the last couple of days. Why do I feel I need to wrap it up? Why do I feel I need to put the pressure on myself? I think part of this experiment is, how will it unfold naturally? Observe it, allow it, see what happens, and then years down the road, come back and connect the dots. That's the part that I think makes the most sense for how to wrap up this year-long experiment, is to not do anything to wrap it up, to let it unfold naturally. So thanks for being with me on this journey. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope it helps you too. We'll see you next time.